Now we're going to look at another set of key signatures, the flat keys. And I've written out here another series of major scales, starting again on C. So I'm going to go up to the very, very top scale here. This is the key of C. I'm going to remind myself of that by writing a C there. So the C major scale goes from C to C, and it has no sharps or flats, no accidentals at all. The next scale I've written out is an F major scale. And the F major scale has one flat, and that flat is B flat. So I'm going to write flat in my key signature right on the third line of the staff, and then I'm going to go over here and erase the flat that I have in the staff. So let's go down a little bit. And let's look at the next key. The next key I've got is the key of B flat major. And the key of B flat has two flats. I'm not going to count that B flat twice. The B flat that starts us off and ends us up at the top, it's still the same letter name, B flat. So I'm going to put the B flat in the key signature here, again on the third line. And that B flat in the key signature is going to apply to all of the B flats, remember, not just the B flat that's right on the third line, but any B flat that I write here. And then I'm going to add the other flat, which is E flat. And then I'm going to erase these flats in the staff, just to remind me that I don't need them anymore. And notice we have a version of the pattern emerging that we saw in the sharp keys. The key of F has one flat, B flat, and the key of B flat keeps that B flat and adds one more flat to it. Let's look at the key of E flat, which is the next major scale that I've written out here. We have B flat, E flat, and A flat. Or another way of looking at that is we take the key signature that we had in the key of B flat, which is B flat and E flat, and we're going to add, we bring it down, and we're going to add one flat to it, which is A flat. So the B flat goes on the third line, the E flat goes on the top space, the A flat goes on the second space. My next major scale is the key of A flat, or an A flat major scale. And look what this does. We have four flats. Again, I'm not going to count that A flat at the beginning and the end twice. I'm just going to count that once. We have B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Or we're just going to bring down that key signature from E flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, and add one flat to it, D flat, which I'm going to put on the fourth line of the staff. And then I'm going to go back here and erase all of my flats in the staff. I forgot to do that in the previous one, so I'll do that here, just to remind me that I don't really need them there. All of those accidentals, all those alterations are now covered by the key signature. All right. After A flat, I have the key of D flat, or D flat major scale. And guess what? We're bringing down all four of those flats that we had in the key of E flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and we're adding one flat to them. We're adding G flat. And then I'm going to go through and erase my flats in there to remind myself that I don't need them anymore. And let's keep going down. We're almost to the end. All right. My next key is the key of G flat. G flat, guess what, has all of the flats, all of the five flats that we found in the key of D flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and it's going to add to those one more C flat. So I can now erase all these flats in the staff, because all those alterations will be covered by the key signature. And finally, we get down to this last one, C flat. And C flat starts on C flat, it ends on C flat, and look at this. Every single note has a flat in front of it. And just like C sharp was the key of C, or the C major scale, with every note sharped, the C flat major scale is just the key of C, or just the C major scale, with every note flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to add, we're going to bring down the key signature from G flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and we're going to add to it the very last flat that we possibly can, F flat. And then I'm going to erase all of these. And there you have it. So now we have all of our flat keys. We have the key of F, which has one flat, the key of B flat, which has two flats, the key of E that has three flats, the key of A flat, which has four, the key of D flat, which has five, the key of G flat, which has six, and the key of C flat, which has seven. What, by the way, is the order of these? Remember when I ordered the scales in the sharp keys, I ordered them going around the circle of fifths. Well, guess what? The circle of fifths also is the governing idea behind this ordering of the scales, but I've just altered it a little bit. So we've started with the key of C, just like we did in the sharp keys, but rather than going clockwise through the circle of fifths, I'm going counterclockwise. I'm going this way. So I go from C down to F, a perfect fifth below, down to B flat, a perfect fifth below, down to E flat, a perfect fifth below, down to A flat, a perfect fifth below, down to D flat, a perfect fifth below, down to G flat, directly below, and then, or a perfect fifth below, and finally down to C flat. And there you have it. Those are all of the major scales you can possibly make. There are 7 sharp keys, there are 7 flat keys, and then there's one key, the key of C major, that has no sharps or flats at all. And there's a little bit of overlap between the sharp keys and the flat keys, remember, because the key of G flat is the same, or is an enharmonic version of the key of F sharp. If you play it on the piano keyboard, the key of G flat looks exactly like the key of F sharp. The key of C flat, which is equivalent to the key of B, or enharmonic with the key of B, and the key of D flat, which is enharmonic with the key of C sharp. So there you have it. 7 sharp keys, 7 flat keys, 1 key with no sharps and flats. The best thing to do is to memorize all 14 of these key signatures. What sharps they have, what flats they have, what keys they are. There's no easy way to do that. I don't have any shortcut method to do that, but those 14 key signatures are going to be with you for the rest of your musical life. So start learning them and start internalizing them now. And we'll be using them in this class for the rest of the semester almost every day.